Press the bell icon on the YouTube app to never miss a video from Newslaundry.
Order, order. Hello and welcome to Reporters Without Orders, a podcast where we talk about what made news, what didn't, and some things that absolutely shouldn't have. I'm your host Snigdha, and joining me today are three Newslaundry reporters. Basant.
Hello.
Ayush.
Hello.
And Virat Kohli.
Also known as Ayan Sharma.
Also known as Ayan
I'm
Sharma.
sure he's
Hello.
tired of this now. You should stop inflicting this on him
तो
now.
मैच
He's
हारने
not
के बाद
tired.
क्या
Look at his
करेंगे?
face.
And also coincidentally, every time we do this
enjoys
podcast, there
it.
is a match. And
Oh.
Basant जी
And
हमेशा
you're
कि
always
मेरे
giving
से
us
बात
the
करेंगे
score.
मैच के बारे
हाँ.
में.
तो आज हार के कैसा लग रहा है?
नहीं अभी तैयारी
आज
करनी
कितने
पड़ेगी.
रन बनाया आपने?
I'm missing Rohit Sharma.
How much?
Oh,
how many
हाँ,
runs did
ये
he make
बात है
today?
ना. Virat scored 51.
Oh, impressive.
आप हमेशा शर्मा जी
लेकिन
को मिस करते हैं।
नंबर 4 मिल गया.
अभी
नहीं
रोहित का भी अनुष्का।
Okay, enough cricket chatter.
Anyway,
All right. Before we begin the podcast, I want to tell all the new listeners that Newslaundry is a 100% ad-free news platform and we need your support to stay afloat. So please subscribe to us and pay to keep news free. Go to www.newslaundry.com/subscription and pick a plan of your choice. The lowest one starts as low as 300 rupees a month. इतना तो दे ही सकते हो. And
and if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify or Castbox or Stitcher, remember we have a website www.newslaundry.com. You can go there. We've been reporting on the Delhi elections. Our reports are there. Read them and check out the other cool stuff that we do.
yes, so let's begin with my favorite bizarre news segment. बसंत, आप बताइए.
मेरा तो एक ही है लेकिन उसमें दो पार्ट है। पहला कि अरविंद केजरीवाल ने एक इंटरव्यू में हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ा। मतलब और उन्होंने कहा कि ये पढ़ने पे सुकून मिलेगा। ठीक है, जो धार्मिक लोग हैं वो जरूर पढ़ें,
जी.
लेकिन एक नेता, एक मुख्यमंत्री जाके हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ रहे हैं, मैसेज क्या देना चाहते हैं? उसके बाद जो उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री का बयान आया कि अभी अरविंद केजरीवाल ने हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ा, आने वाले समय में ओवैसी भी पढ़ेंगे। तो एक इतने बड़े सूबे के मुख्यमंत्री आके क्या बयान दे रहे हैं? हालांकि योगी आदित्यनाथ जी का जो रिकॉर्ड है भाषण देने का, चाहे झारखंड में जाके इमरान जीतेगा तो मंदिर नहीं बनेगा, दिल्ली में आके गोली मारो
जी.
और तमाम बिरयानी बट रही है शाहीन बाग में। तो ये सब भारतीय राजनीति में जो अभी हो रहा है, खासकर दिल्ली चुनाव के दौरान, सब विजार ही हो रहा है।
जी,
तो
बिल्कुल.
ये दो विजार न्यूज है। और
सही.
हम लोग बचपन में हनुमान चालीसा तब पढ़ते थे जब रात अंधेरे में कहीं से गुजर रहे होते थे बगीचे बगीचे के पास से,
डर जब लगता
और
है
भूत का डर होता था। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, साइकिल चला रहे हैं पढ़ रहे हैं ताकि भूत ना पकड़ लें। तो ये था।
हाँ, that's true.
उसी बात पे मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा, जर्नलिस्ट ने जो सवाल पूछा वो भी बहुत बिजार है. मतलब यू डोंट आस्क समवन टू रिसाइट द हनुमान चालीसा. आई मीन
out
दैट्स
of all the things in the world that he could have asked
he
him about.
prefaced that question with पूछना तो नहीं चाहिए लेकिन and then he पूछ दिया उसने, which is also bizarre.
Gazab. Ayush?
In Kerala, I saw this news in the News Minute that there was a neighborhood and there's a bar in the neighborhood and the alcohol in the bar was seized years ago by the police. And it was just kept like that, and they finally got a permission and they were given the alcohol back, but it was spoilt. So they just threw all the alcohol in liquid form in a pit, which happened to be near a well. So 18 families
Where
in
is
that
this
neighborhood,
going?
when they switch on their taps,
No. Dream
Yeah.
come true for a lot of people.
it's a great scene in Hera Fairy, if anyone remembers, where when they were looking for a bumper jackpot in two.
Hera
And
Fairy,
yeah,
Hera Fairy.
yeah, and when Parish Rawal is asked that what will you do, so he says, "Arey tu टंकी में डाल दे, मैं नल खोलेगा, उधर से निकालेगा." So it was almost like that.
Well, not a good time to move to Kerala because of, the virus.
But interestingly, if it would have happened in Gujarat.
Oh. Ayan.
Yeah, so today a woman faked her identity and entered the Shaheen Bagh protest site. She wore a burqa, but later on, I mean, the women there, they kind of figured out that she was faking her identity, and they just, made her sit and questioned her. And what's even more bizarre is that when she was asked to reveal her identity, she said that she was Barkha, basically referring to Barkha Dutt. She was impersonating Barkha Dutt.
My God.
Now, this lady's name is Gunja Kapoor. She's a right-wing activist on social media. She runs this YouTube channel called the Right Narrative.
Yeah.
And by the same name, she also has a Twitter handle. And
I'll tell you what's even more bizarre.
She is followed by our own Honorable Prime Minister.
And guess who she follows? Our boy right here.
Right here.
None of it is my fault. I never met her, never asked her to follow me. She also follows him. Yeah, that's Meghnad saying he's also followed.
She likes Newslaundry, that means.
Oh,
you know her.
This would have been better. She follows us on social media and she doesn't have to wear a burqa for it. You know?
और सोशल मीडिया पे उसके बाद जो वो चल रहा है वन लाइनर कि बुर्का पहन के आने की क्या जरूरत है, हम वैसे ही बिरयानी खिला देते हैं, ऐसे तमाम बातें चल रही है.
Anyway, my bizarre news is from Indonesia. So
भारत से कब होगा?
हमेशा होता है. पिछले लास्ट पता नहीं कितने बार मैंने इंडिया से बताया.
She's going from the west to ASEAN.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
So it's from Indonesia. So this guy called Ahmad Marzuki, he's a religious leader and he runs some boarding schools. Okay. So he was part-timing as a meth dealer. And when the cops caught him, finally, he said that meth helps you come closer to God.
Oh.
That was his argument.
This is like
and
interesting.
he also issued a fatwa declaring meth to be halal or permissible under Islamic law because, Quran mein forbidden nahi hai.
Bless him.
So,
I mean,
This is like Breaking
for his
Bad in
progressive
Indonesia.
stance. Yeah.
Yeah.
but Breaking Bad, another level, man.
Another level, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
All right. So our reporters have been all over Delhi. You guys have been covering the protests, the elections. Ayush and Basant, you guys covered the general elections also last year. And now you're covering the assembly elections. What is the basic difference in public attitude?
Well, during the general elections, I think halfway through it, it was pretty clear that the BJP was going to sweep it. There was no actual competition. In the beginning, you felt Congress might get a good chance. But this one is, again, the same party which swept that election so massively seems to be in a weak state here. And the kind of politics that's been going on to change that kind of an equation, that is the difference. But there is two party at loggerheads looking for these swing voters. So there's a competition is what is different in this election.
Right. Basant?
मुझे भी यही लग रहा है कि जो लोकसभा के चुनाव के दौरान भले ही कांग्रेस और आम आदमी पार्टी दावे कर रही थी
जी.
लेकिन लग रहा था कि जनता प्रधानमंत्री मोदी को वोट कर रही थी. मैं कई लोगों से मिला, मनोज तिवारी के इलाके में गया था, तब लोग कह रहे थे मनोज तिवारी ने काम तो नहीं किया लेकिन हम मोदी जी को पीएम बनाना चाहते हैं क्योंकि देश. इस चुनाव में भी एक चीज़ ऐसी देखने को मिल रही है ग्राउंड पे कि जो वोटर हैं अभी भी वो कैंडिडेट नहीं देख रहे हैं, चाहे बीजेपी के हो चाहे आपके हो. जो सीएम पद के लिए प्रधानमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल को देख रहे हैं और जो बीजेपी के वोटर हो प्रधानमंत्री को ही वोट कर रहे हैं. उनके पास भी कोई लीडर नहीं है जी. और मुझे एक रिपोर्टर को चुनाव से पहले ऐसे इस तरीके की भविष्यवाणी नहीं करनी चाहिए, लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी को लेकर तब बीजेपी को लेकर जिस तरीके की बातें होती थी प्रधानमंत्री को लेकर, वैसी ही बातें इस वक्त अरविंद केजरीवाल को लेकर हो रही है जी. नतीजे क्या आएंगे तो 11 तारीख को पता चलेगा. लेकिन हाँ, प्रधानमंत्री तब वो तो हुआ करते थे, प्रधानमंत्री का चेहरा सबसे आगे था. अभी ग्राउंड पे अरविंद केजरीवाल मुझे थोड़ी सी थोड़े बढ़त के साथ दिख रहे हैं ग्राउंड पे, जो लोगों से बातचीत करके पता चल रहा है. नतीजे तो 11 को आएंगे.
What are the major issues of concern? Are people still concerned about national security? Or local issues are more important?
Local issues are
even
more important.
For those who support the Prime Minister and who will vote with him in mind.
Well, people who support the Prime Minister, their argument is, I don't know how honest it is, but is that if we have the same man in the state, and I mean the same party in the state and the same party in the center, things would gel better. Yeah. And this constant back and forth between the Delhi government and the central government would end. Right. And they think that because of that confrontation, a lot of things don't happen. So that's their argument. But no, national security is not an issue at all. The main issue in Delhi is electricity and water. Now also Shaheen Bagh. Right. Actually, Shaheen Bagh is eclipsed those two.
Right. I was coming to that.
The main issues from the beginning were वाटर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी.
और आम आदमी पार्टी की कोशिश भी यही रही है, पूरे चुनाव के दौरान कि मुद्दे को राष्ट्रीय मुद्दा ना बनाया जाए. दिल्ली में पानी, क्योंकि उनका जो काम है, जो कह रहे हैं वो काम यही है, पानी, बिजली और मोहल्ला क्लिनिक वगैरह. तो उनकी पूरी कोशिश है कि पूरे चुनाव को इस पे रखा जाए. हालांकि बीच में शाहीन बाग आया, CAA है ही, पाकिस्तान तो है ही ऑलरेडी, हमारे हर चुनाव में पाकिस्तान आ ही जाता है. तो ये सब चल ही रहा है, लेकिन कोशिश है आम आदमी पार्टी की कि मुद्दा लोकल ही रहे।
लोकल,
नेशनल होगा तो उनको लगता है कि नेशनल होगा तो बीजेपी से
आगे बढ़ जाएगी बीजेपी। जी। what are you guys feeling like public sentiment on the ground when you talk about Shaheen Bagh?
See, my observation about the election is twofold. From my personal understanding of the elections, Aam Aadmi Party is going to have a comfortable majority again. They are going to win the elections.
All right.
But I think the BJP has been successful in setting the narrative for this election. And I think that's what they are trying to do on a very large scale. They are not only looking to win the elections, but to set the narrative not only for Delhi, but I think for future elections in other states also. Because if you look at how the campaigning strategy of the Aam Aadmi Party has panned out, for the longest time possible, they did not talk about the Shaheen Bagh demonstrations. They did not talk about anything related to national security or this Hindu-Muslim binary or India-Pakistan, whatever. But of late, for the last 4, 5 days, 6 days, they have decided to, take this on, and they have decided to counter the BJP. Of course, not in a very aggressive way, but they have now started touching upon these issues.
Right.
Because Kejriwal has kind of turned that terrorist tag.
Yeah, it all happened after he was called
because
terrorist,
after being
right?
called a terrorist by 2-3 times, by BJP leaders, now they have kind of turned it on. So now Kejriwal is approaching the voters saying that, do I look like a terrorist? I consider myself to be a dutiful son of Delhi. अगर आपको लगता है कि मैं दिल्ली का बेटा हूँ तो just vote for me. और आपको लगता है कि मैं terrorist हूँ, then vote for the BJP.
Right.
Emotional politics.
Exactly. And और Shaheen Bagh को लेके now they have started talking about it because Kejriwal yesterday spoke to a number of TV channels and he said अगर Shaheen Bagh का वो पूरा control मेरे हाथ में होता है, if the police was in my hand, I would have just gone there and talked to the people and then tried to solve it in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But the police is in the hands of Amit Shah.
Right.
So they are not willingly, putting an end to this thing because they want to politicize it. So that's a new development in terms of campaign strategy.
Right. Basant, आप बताइए शाहीन बाग को लेके लोगों का क्या कहना है? आपने जो ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट्स किए हैं, जहाँ आप गए।
देखिए, शाहीन बाग को लेकर मतलब एक तरीके से लोगों जो आम लोग हैं उनमें नाराज़गी है। उसकी वजह एक है कि बता दिया गया टेलीविज़न मीडिया के द्वारा। एक हमारे सीनियर पत्रकार ने यहाँ तक कह दिया था कि सीरिया में रिपोर्टिंग करना आसान है, शाहीन बाग में मुश्किल। मैं खुद 4-5 बार वहाँ जा चुका हूँ, रिपोर्टिंग करना है मुश्किल है। दिक्कत इस बात की है कि वहाँ जो लोग हैं उनको जर्नलिस्ट पे भरोसा नहीं है, तो हम लोगों को भी तमाम लोगों को रोकते हैं, आई कार्ड चेक करते हैं तब जाने देते हैं। तो वो तमाम दिक्कतें तो हैं, लेकिन लोगों के मन में ये चला गया है कि लोगों को परेशानी हो रही है तो बहुत ज़्यादा चुनाव प्रभावित नहीं होगा शाहीन बाग से, क्योंकि दिल्ली में वो जनता ज़्यादा है जिसको डायरेक्ट फ़ायदा हो रहा है, जो केजरीवाल सरकार ने अपने चुनाव के आखिरी दिनों में चुनाव से कुछ दिन पहले किया है, चाहे बिजली का मुद्दा हो, चाहे ये तमाम चीज़ें हो। तो बहुत ज़्यादा कहते हैं ना कि मतलब पूरे चुनाव को बदल देने वाला असर है। सीटें बढ़ेंगी लेकिन इतना बड़ा असर नहीं है जो मुझे लग रहा है। लोग ये कह रहे हैं ज़रूर कि वहाँ से उठ जाना चाहिए, लेकिन लोग ये भी बात समझ रहे हैं कि दिल्ली पुलिस केजरीवाल के अंडर में नहीं है, तो वो हटाने की जिम्मेदारी केजरीवाल की नहीं है। जो लोग थोड़े जानकार हैं, लेकिन जो लोग जानकार नहीं हैं वो ये कह रहे हैं कि केजरीवाल हो या मनीष सिसोदिया हो, वो उनको समर्थन दिए हैं। तो काउंटर सवाल लोग ये भी पूछ रहे हैं, मतलब एज ए जर्नलिस्ट हम पूछ भी लेते हैं कि अगर समर्थन देना अलग बात है, लेकिन उनको हटाने की जिम्मेदारी, उनको वो जिन मसलों के साथ वहाँ बैठे हुए हैं उस पर समझाने की जिम्मेदारी तो केंद्र सरकार के पास है। तो केंद्र सरकार उस पर कार्रवाई करे, उनसे बात करे, मामले को जिस तरीके से सुलझाना चाहे सुलझाए।
जी। Ayan, last week we spoke to Ayush. He attended Amit Shah's rally. And Ayan recently attended Kejriwal's rally, right? In Mayur Vihar.
Basically, he conducted 3 road shows across 3 constituencies, which are like connected to each other. I mean, nearby constituencies. So he started at around 4:30 and ended by 7:38.
On?
I think on the 3rd of February, the day before yesterday.
So tell me more about what you experienced, the kind of people you saw there who were attending the rally, what they were saying.
Yes. So the first person I met at this road show was an advocate from Mayur Vihar, which falls under the Patparganj constituency. And this man was really fuming over the allegation leveled by the BJP on Kejriwal as a terrorist. So I think that thing has actually passed down to the voters.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not to everyone, but some people have actually, taken
offense to that.
Taken offense to that, or at least started talking about this thing. So it's not that BJP is like shooting in the dark. They have been able to kind of, pass that message on. But this guy, of course, he was an Aam Aadmi Party supporter, so he was really offended by this statement, and he said that it's not only an insult to Kejriwal, but this is also an insult to supporters like me, hundreds of thousands of supporters like me. Then I followed him across constituencies, but I think the sense I got from the ground is that people are largely, not bothered by what is happening in terms of national security or what the BJP is trying to talk about, because I think the Aam Aadmi Party, through its strategy, has been successful to, convince the voters that this election should be fought on local issues. And over the last 5 years, we have performed, and on the basis of performance, you judge whether we should be voted back to power or not. And I think people have actually kind of connected to that
Right,
strategy.
that makes sense to a lot of people.
People are also saying that, no, I mean, Lok Sabha ke liye issues are different, but this is a state level election. So why should we be bothered about those issues,
Right.
which the BJP is trying to, tell us and convince us about.
Right.
So I think that way, the wind is very much in Aam Aadmi Party's favor.
Right. Okay. Ayan, you recently went to Jewar in Uttar Pradesh, the place from where the 17-year-old shooter, the first one, what was that like? You met his family?
Yeah, I went to his family as well as his school. So the incident happened on January 30, and I went there the next day. And Jewar is like about 65 kilometers from Delhi, from here at least. And first I went to visit his school, and I met the manager of the school, Narendra Kumar Sharma. So I asked him about this student.
He's in which class?
So there is again, kind of a technical thing about his studying there. Basically, he goes there for classes, but he's enrolled in some other private school in a nearby place called Pulwal. I have forgotten the name. Pulwal, yes, Pulwal. I think that's what a lot of schools, do. I mean, they get students enrolled, but then for exams and other purposes,
send somewhere,
So that's the arrangement. But he definitely finished his matriculation from that school 2 years back. So now he's in the 12th standard. And after talking to his this manager, Narendra Kumar Sharma, he told me that this guy always, came across as a very well-mannered, well-behaved guy. Of course, he was not very good academically. He was an average student, but he was a well-mannered guy. And he told me that the student had an interest in wrestling. So he did some, wrestling in local melas and all. But apart from that, he never, came across as a, somewhat different or aggressive or somewhat rude. Everything was normal about this guy. So when this incident happened and the news came out, it was like a big shock to everyone, to his teachers, to his family, to his neighbors. And after visiting the school, I went to meet his family, his neighbors. So they come from a very lower middle class background. Okay, they live in a very small house, and the father runs a small pawn shop, and his mother teaches in a local private school, so makes really a little amount of money.
Right.
But one of the neighbors told me that, of course, always this guy had come across as a very soft-spoken, well-mannered guy.
Yeah.
But then he said that about 15 days back, there began a change in his persona. He seemed occupied with something, as if he was up to something, constantly thinking about something, and he would easily get irritated if somebody asked him. So those kinds of small observations were made.
Any clues about what triggered this change?
I cannot say, but if you look at his social media profile, his Facebook profile, there was a number of posts where it was seen that this guy was, actively participating in activities conducted by the Bajrang Dal, which is the youth wing of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, the far-right, Hindu organization. So there have been, so his Facebook profile has been pulled down by Facebook now. But when it was up there were a number of posts, photos,
I saw
status
some,
messages. So everything, clearly
So
showed.
it was like he knew a couple of days before he actually went about and to Jamia.
Yeah,
He was planning this.
He was planning this
And
because
also, the comments that I saw, it seemed like, a lot of people were encouraging him as if they know what he's going to do,
Yeah.
which is very strange.
And this thing that I have told you guys about, the neighbor's observation. This observation has been corroborated by one of his friends also, who
okay.
Pratik spoke to over phone,
I
and
see.
this guy he said कि हाँ हमने भी notice किया था कि 15 दिन पहले से थोड़ा मतलब इसका वो persona बदल गया है. And whenever we asked him about what he was up to, he would just say कुछ होने वाला है, कुछ बड़ा होगा. Statements like that, very vague. He wouldn't give out the details, but he was visibly occupied with something, and he was planning something. So I mean, just going all the way from Jewar to Jamia, and brandishing a gun and again firing at someone. Of course, it cannot happen in a day or two. Of course, it took some planning.
Right.
So that bit is very clear. Now, I asked his neighbors, I asked his family members whether he was, politically affiliated to any organization or whether he was being, influenced by some local leader. I mean, they kind of said that they didn't have any idea. But then his father told me that if this guy on the morning of 30 January could lie to us about going to school and instead ended up in Jamia Nagar with a gun. So it's very much possible that, earlier also he just went here and there to meet someone.
He's a teenager, he's a
teenager
boy,
and
boys
this-
are allowed to go out without being questioned.
His father runs a pawn shop, his mother goes to a school to teach.
How would they
so
know?
they would definitely not know where their son was, headed.
Right.
So that's a possibility his father also did not rule out.
Right. And Ayush and Basant, you guys went to Kapil Gujjar's house, which was in Dallupura. ये कहाँ पे है बसंत?
ये यूपी मतलब नोएडा, गाजियाबाद और दिल्ली का बॉर्डर पड़ता है, ईस्ट दिल्ली में है.
अच्छा.
कोंडली विधानसभा लगता है.
हाँ, त्रिलोकपुरी के पास है.
हाँ, त्रिलोकपुरी कोंडली विधानसभा त्रिलोकपुरी से 1 किलोमीटर दूरी पे है.
Acha. So recently, I don't know, as you guys must have seen on social media, Kapil Gujjar's pictures with some AAP leaders like Sanjay Singh and Atishi went viral, and now it's become a huge political fiasco. But his father has vehemently denied any AAP connection, and he's also said that he's a sevak of, their whole family is a sevak of Modi ji.
Even though that makes no sense.
Yeah.
There's a photo of your son with the AAP, with Atishi and Sanjay Singh.
Yeah.
How can you deny something like that?
Right.
I mean, the
But
political...
it's very conflicting, right? Because before he fired the shots, he said Jai Hindu Rashtra.
Hindu Rashtra and Hindu की चलेगी.
ये हिंदू राष्ट्र या हिंदुओं की चलेगी.
हाँ.
He said that, I mean, the political affiliation of this whole family is very intriguing.
Yeah.
There were reports of his
father
father contesting on a
BSP
Bahujan
ticket.
Samaj Party ticket.
Yeah.
Then reports came out of their alleged links with the Aam Aadmi Party. Now it's the BJP. So it's very intriguing.
Right. So you guys met the family as well?
We couldn't meet him actually.
Acha.
When we reached that spot, we were told that the family is not there, and the reason was that someone told him that he's been taken to the police station nearby, which we went to and checked. They weren't there, and some others were like, "वो शादी में गए." It was an awkward time to go for a shadi, or just son just shot 5 shots in China. And this actually, if you read Vijayata's report on Scroll on of the Jewar report,
Yeah.
when she went there and the parents weren't there, she was also told कि वो शादी में गए हैं. It's a social I think it's a social excuse people make. So we went there and his parents weren't there. Whatever we've gathered was because it's a village. It's an urban village. These people are connected from, they're relatives of each other from different time.
Jewar is more of a rural comparatively,
Yeah.
and this is like a
This is an urban
semi-urban
village. It's like Achini right here.
Right.
And it's one of those places, and Gujjars have lived around Delhi for centuries,
Yeah.
So these villages after 90s they just boomed into these places, and so everyone's related, so they knew each other, they knew couple knew them, they were daily interactions. So we talked to these people, and it's exactly how he describes this fellow Gopal Sharma. Everyone told us he was well mannered, Kapil was very nice, all he thought of was buffaloes. He would even dream of buffaloes.
वो buffalo को देख के बता देता था कि वो कितना दूध देने वाली है and all that.
I think And also one big difference between both the cases is the fact that this guy, the second shooter, he
Kapil
comes from a
Gujjar.
very affluent family.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, he
They
does.
have a very thriving dairy business.
Right.
Yes.
They have luxury cars parked outside their
Yes.
house.
I mean,
Yes.
So
not
that's a big
luxury,
difference.
but definitely
High-end.
high-end stuff. And they have, they have a huge house, lot of tenants, even including Muslim tenants.
Yeah.
So, he's one of those people, and that area is also has a sizable Muslim population, which are good, and they are Gujar Muslims.
Gujar Muslims, yeah.
So that's the kind of response we got from people. But the overall what we tried to do in our report was to try and get a sense of what this fellow was, given what people said about him and what people who were close to him were like. So we had conversations with young people. There was a point we were waiting for someone, and for an hour we just hung around with these young Gujar men who were his
What were they?
friends.
What was on their mind? Tell us more.
You
about.
should. तुम बताओ थोड़ा.
दरअसल अभी के समय में एक चीज़ नया ट्रेंड है सोशल मीडिया आने के बाद, जो हालांकि हम सोशल मीडिया के ज़माने के ही लोग हैं,
जी.
कि लोगों में अचानक से मशहूर होने के, बिना मेहनत किए, बिना स्ट्रगल के चर्चा में आने के, जैसे ढिंचैक पूजा टाइप के कुछ करके,
जी.
तो वहाँ जिन बच्चों से हम बात कर रहे थे उनमें एक प्रवृत्ति ये दिख रही थी, और ये प्रवृत्ति कपिल में भी है, जो हमने आसपास के लोगों
हमें
से
भी फेमस होना है, जैसे भी चाहे.
फेमस होना है. अब एक लड़का वहाँ मुझे मिला, मैंने वैसे थोड़ा सा एक डर का माहौल भी था, क्योंकि पूरा एक गांव है,
जी.
गुज्जर इलाका है, तो मैं कैमरा ऑन नहीं कर रहा था, बोल रहा था ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड करते हैं.
जी.
तो उसने कहा मेरा वीडियो पे लीजिए, मैं बताऊंगा कि कपिल भैया ने क्या किया. ठीक है. उसने कहा कि कपिल भैया ने जो किया अच्छा किया, वो मेरी भी भावना थी, उन्होंने कर दिया, कोई बात नहीं. एक बंदा मिला, हैरानी की बात है कि वहाँ के लोकल बीजेपी मंडल अध्यक्ष का छोटा भाई है. बीजेपी ने कल आरोप लगाया, पुलिस ने भी कहा कि वो आम आदमी पार्टी से जुड़ा हुआ है, लेकिन जिस लड़के का इंटरव्यू हमारी वीडियो स्टोरी में है, वो वहाँ के लोकल बीजेपी लीडर का छोटा भाई है.
अच्छा.
उसने मुझसे कहा कि कपिल ने कोई गलत काम नहीं किया, उसका मकसद किसी को मारना नहीं था, उसका मकसद था ये बताना कि आप रास्ता खाली करिए. तो हम जितने लोगों से मिल रहे थे, यही एक उनके मन में दिख रहा था, जो कम उम्र के लोग हैं, हमारी उम्र के, कि लोकप्रिय कपिल भाई तो हीरो बन गए, टीवी पे आ रहे हैं, हर टीवी चैनल पे आ रहे हैं, कपिल भाई ने ये किया. तो ये चीज़, एक नई चीज़ देखने को मिल रही है कि लोग ऐसे काम कर करके मशहूर होना चाहते हैं.
But what I thought after reading your report and after working on the Kapil report is an interesting perspective on the nature of bigotry.
Yeah.
Is that when we think of what a bigot looks like, especially a violent bigot, we might think he's a rabid, goes around harassing Muslims and telling Dalits what to do, etc. But life is very complex.
Exactly. It's not that simple.
And so when we were talking to these these young men in Dillupura, they were telling us that we have Muslim friends, we don't have any problem with Muslims, and they always say this, they always say यहाँ के मुसलमान बहुत अच्छे हैं, लेकिन बाहर के the rest sucks. This happened to me in
यहाँ के
Tughlakabad.
मतलब इंडिया के मुसलमान.
यहाँ के मतलब हमारे
लोकल.
लोकल. अच्छा,
हाँ, तो
मतलब
यहाँ
जिनको
के,
हम जानते हैं वो ठीक है.
जिनको हम जानते हैं वो अच्छे हैं, but there is a Musliman out there who is not that great.
Right.
Who's like the other.
Exactly. So he said their Muslims are peace loving, they are our friends, but then he was saying कि हिंदुओं की, his friends were also saying the same thing, हिंदुओं की चलेगी, this is a Hindu Rashtra. So it's about कि as if you have to vouch for something, for an ideology, if you have to espouse an ideology, you can. There's a complex constellation of mental spots that goes into making you what you are. It doesn't have to be black or white, which is why again this whole AAP thing, that he's a member of AAP.
He could be.
People he just came out member of AAP. He's like, oh, it's an AAP conspiracy. No, he can espouse Hindutva and he can be
and still be a member of AAP.
During the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, there were sadhus who were for Kattar Congress, and there were those who were Kattar BJP, and there was a battle in Ayodhya to get these sadhus. So these things up, and most of these, I can tell you, I was in Ayodhya, most of the sadhus who were for Congress also believed in the Hindu Rashtra, but they were in the Congress. So the nature of bigotry is complex, and this is what we discovered.
Exactly, and I mean this is exactly a common phenomenon in other places also. In Jewar also, for example, there is a significant Muslim population there, and go and ask anyone anyone, they will just tell you the same thing what he said. I mean, we all live very peacefully. There has been no incident of violence in the past. But again, what these young people have been up to, maybe under the eyes of their parents or neighbors, but this is like very alarming. I mean, in my report, I wrote about this guy's valorization of two very hardline Hindutva leaders. One is Deepak Sharma from Meerut, and the other is Updesh Rana.
Right.
Udesh Rana.
And this guy, the shooter, I think in one of his Facebook posts, he said, I mean, if I had half the followers as Updesh Bhaiya, then I would have just finished this Shaheen Bagh business within days.
Right.
And Updesh has close to 1.25 lakh followers on Facebook with different pages.
Right.
So this kind of is going on,
Bringing this discussion to an end, my last question is, the biggest concern for all of us, this guy, he's just 17 years old. What got him to, what drove him to do that? Even this other guy, Kapil Gujjar, is very young. So this radicalization of youth that's going on, what are the factors apart from biased news channels, like for example Republic, Jayashree, our colleague, recently did a report on Republic's primetime show, right, where they misleadingly showed that the Jamia shooter was
a
Shaheen Bagh protester.
Right.
Yes.
And she did a report about all the brands that were sponsoring that show, right? So apart from TV news channels, what are the other major factors that you think influence these young people to take such strong?
मुझे लगता है कि जो वर्तमान में हमारे लीडर्स जो पावर में हैं, उनके जो बयान है वो उनको हिम्मत दे रहे हैं। दरअसल आप देखिए, शाहीन बाग को लेकर कौन बयान दिया? गृह मंत्री का बयान था कि ऐसे बटन दबाए गए करंट जाए शाहीन बाग। प्रधानमंत्री का बयान था शाहीन बाग संयोग नहीं है, संयोग नहीं है, वो किया गया है। मुझे बयान ऐसे ही
साजिश ऐसा कुछ बताया।
ऐसा कुछ एक लाइन था। प्रधानमंत्री कह रहे हैं एक अपने ही मुल्क के लोग, कुछ लोग प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, अगर आपको लगता है कि उनका प्रोटेस्ट गलत मुद्दों पे है तो उनको समझाया जा सकता है, वो भारत के नागरिक है ना। आप उनको बीजेपी जो अभी सत्ता में है, केंद्र की सत्ता में तो वही है, पुलिस उनके पास है, बीजेपी के लीडर कह रहे हैं। अब जैसे योगी आदित्यनाथ का बयान है कि वहाँ के लोग बिरयानी खा रहे हैं और 500 रुपये का वो लगता है। तो इस तरीके के जो बयान आ रहे हैं तो एक नफरत पैदा कर रहे हैं शाहीन बाग के लोगों के लिए। शाहीन बाग में कौन मेजर, वहाँ हिंदू मुस्लिम सब बैठे हैं, लेकिन अधिकतम संख्या मुसलमानों की है, वो इलाका मुस्लिम बहुल इलाका है। तो एक पूरी कम्युनिटी के खिलाफ एक नफरत भरा जा रहा है। टीवी चैनल तो उसमें बढ़िया भूमिका निभा रहे हैं, लेकिन जो नेताओं के बयान है उससे उनको हिम्मत मिलती है कि अरे वो कह रहे हैं मतलब गलती ही है तो चलो कर दो। तो हमारे मतलब जब छोटे थे तो हमारे दादाजी कहते थे कि गांधी जी को पढ़ो, नेहरू को पढ़ो, ये बड़े अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी को पढ़ो ताकि तुम्हारी भाषा सही हो, उनके भाषण सुनो ताकि तुम्हारी भाषा सही हो। हमें नहीं लगता कि हमारे बच्चे होंगे तो हम कहेंगे कि इन तमाम नेताओं को सुनो, तुम्हारी भाषा अच्छी होगी, तुम्हारे सोच बेहतर होंगे। तो इन लीडरों को अपनी भाषा तो सुधारनी पड़ेगी, तभी मुल्क बेहतर बन पाएगा।
Yes, in addition to that, I think what also plays a big role these days is the easy availability of mobile phones and the internet. I think that's helping spread this wildfire.
Right. But it can't be helped, right?
It can't be helped.
I mean,
इसका बेहतर इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए ना उनको।
You can't deny access. Exactly.
But WhatsApp में किस तरह की खबरें फैलती है हमने भी देखा है।
No, remember, I think last time we were talking about this. Britain is actually trying to pass a law where it will force all app makers to follow strict guidelines, especially for children's apps, right? The kind of especially collecting information about children, that will be restricted. So we need stuff like that, right?
Yeah, guidelines.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much you can do by creating an app that will do something like that. Your society and your culture are
plays a bigger role.
Big role.
Yeah,
for sure.
Your society has a good side and your culture same, and they also have bad sides. If the incentive in these times is that if you go to the bad side, you will have, better life.
True,
You see that
more
guy,
access.
he was live streaming the whole
Yeah.
Jamia shooting, and he was getting praised like anything in his comment section. He was
True.
getting all the validation
True.
he wanted.
Exactly.
So he saw an incentive in bringing out a side of him that he thought would, just get him
Right.
all the social
Make
media
him
thing.
popular.
So, and that's why these things happen.
Right.
बचपन में मतलब नफ़रत को लेकर एक बात हो रही है,
जी.
तो मैंने कभी सुना था कि नफ़रत सबसे पहले आपको तबाह करती है, उसके बाद किसी और को. अगर मैं किसी से नफरत करूंगा तो पहले मैं अपने आप को, मान लीजिए मैं नफरत में किसी को गोली मार दूं, तो पहले तो मैं अपने आप को बर्बाद कर दिया, जेल जाऊंगा, सजा काटूंगा. तो नफरत खराब चीज़ है, जो भी हमारे लिसनर सुन रहे हैं.
Alright, last but not the least, Ayush, along with Alt News reporter Jignesh, did a brilliant report refuting the fake news that was spread by Amit Malviya himself about Shaheen Bagh women taking money. If you haven't read the report, you better read it already. You're really missing out. This is the kind of reportage that you have to pay for. You're not going to get it if you depend on some news channel or, sponsored news channel that depends on ads. Right.
The one who must not be named.
So pay to keep news free, guys. Like, it's more important now than ever before. Ayush, tell us more. How did you go about it?
Right. So this video came out on the 15th of January, posted on Amit Malviya, who's the head of the BJP IT cell, which showed one young man in a shop saying that women in Shaheen Bagh are getting paid 500 rupees a day and they protest in shifts to do all this. And it went viral, of course. Amit Malviya, he commands a huge troll army online.
Right.
So they spread it. And there are, of course, we know this, channels who just picked that up, said we haven't authenticated it.
Times Now.
They said we haven't authenticated this video. Times Now, Republic, definitely. I'm not sure.
तो share क्यों कर रहे थे वही मुझे
Exactly.
like,
They didn't say we haven't authenticated and here's what we did when we sent a reporter to authenticate it. But they just had a debate on it. As if, it was just really a travesty of journalism, if there's anything.
True.
And that became a huge controversial issue, got muddled up with the Delhi election, and we know where we are in right now. So it became a talking point. If you go to the ground, I was walking from the Tapri to the office yesterday, and there was a person standing, he was talking to someone else. I just overheard him, and he said, "Pata hai, Shaheen Bagh mein औरतों को पैसा मिल रहा है protest करने का." So it reached
even
the
Just to
masses.
interrupt, I think this was exactly one of the reasons why Shaheen Bagh protesters, started becoming suspicious of media personnel, because one of the people, categorically told me, "Yaar, media mein ye sab baatein chalti hai, so why should we allow you guys to come here?"
I was heckled
even
because of this.
So was I, exactly.
Even the lady who cooks for me, right, in my house, even she's like completely oblivious to all, to politics. But today I was reading about Shaheen Bagh and I was talking about it. She overheard and she was like, हाँ दीदी उनको तो पैसे मिल रहे हैं. मैंने बोला, and I was like, आपको किसने बताया? नहीं मिल रहे हैं दीदी, मिल रहे हैं.
You should direct.
So I tried to explain. No, I did explain to her,
We'll have that report in Hindi also.
Yes.
So anyway, that became a talking point, and then Jignesh, who works at Alt News, he's a fantastic fact checker, especially visual investigation. He reached out to me saying, we have zeroed on of the location of this shop where this video was shot, and how he did that was in one of the frames. It's a shop where you don't get your mobile recharged.
So you can't see any faces in that video, right?
One face you can, the guy who's talking.
Okay.
Who could I never could find him.
Right.
But anyway, you could see the numbers, and he took that number, he put it on Google, and it gave you the shop from where that number came.
Oh wow.
And it gave you the location of that shop, and not only the location, it gave you the picture of the owner.
Oh,
so
alright.
This guy is very media savvy, probably. So
he put his picture himself.
He's put and everything.
Oh.
So I went to that shop. So we discussed, okay, great, you figured out the location. I'll go and check, see what's up. So I went as a reporter who's trying to report on the elections, trying to talk about local issues. So I had an hour-long conversation with him, but the relevant bit is only around 20 minutes, because 40 minutes of it was just trying to get him ease him
talking.
into the conversation. So I talked about Bijli, Nali, Pani, and then you talk about Shaheen Bagh. So he told me that first of all, that he supported CA NRC, and that Shaheen Bagh protesters, they don't. He was like, क्यों protest कर रहे हैं? इसमें अच्छा ही क्या होगा अगर किसी ने law बनाया है? And then I started bringing up the video. And after a point, he realized that what I was driving at, that I was there to investigate the video, and he got very antsy. So he said, okay, the video was made at some shop here. The guy two guys came, one was talking, another shot a video by keeping his phone over here. So I was like, okay, that's the
over
reason?
here मतलब दुकान के बाहर?
दुकान पे over the counter, he kept his phone and he filmed him. I'm like, oh, that's strange, because the voice exactly is yours. And the third voice who's saying कि Congress का खेल है, which Amit Malviya quoted in his tweet, is your father's. I can tell. That's your father, this is you.
The father was sitting there as well?
Yeah, he was also there. The father was also there.
Yeah, I remember hearing those voice clips.
He denied, like, this is not me, it's not even my shop. But it happened around, and I can tell you who that boy was, whoever he was, didn't know shit. He was talking out of his ass. He was some guy. People in the nooks and corners, if you even hang around in everyday life, sit and talk anything. Your maid and this guy over that corner I met. So like, it was one such conversation and someone filmed him. There's no evidence to it. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. And that's all I got. He tore my notes because he was very agitated.
Oh, he did that.
Oh, wow.
He tore all my notes, and he
But did he kind of threaten you also?
He didn't threaten me.
That is like threatening only, tearing off.
He told me that he was a BJP. He was a Karyakarta and he was associated with the BJP. There was a ghadi in his shop with Modi ji on it and Amit Shah on it. So वो सब था. He cut all that first and then he tore off the pages. So like, fair enough. That's all that material I got. Then I moved to this local BJP worker who just lives down the road. And again, long conversation just to ease him into it. At the end of it, I asked him, this sting that was happened on this channel. So he's like, no, it didn't happen on this channel. He turned to his friend and he said, you know where it happened? So, and I'm acting like I have no idea what's going on. This is such a surprise.
You
like,
also have to be a good actor to be a good reporter.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, हमारे पड़ोस में हुआ है हमारी दुकान पे, वो मेरे he's close to me, जानता हूँ मैं उसको वगैरह. तो आप 8 तारीख के बाद आइए, आपसे मिलवाता हूँ मैं उसको.
8 तारीख के बाद आइए.
हमारे यहाँ से वायरल हुआ है वो.
Right.
So then I got good amount of material. First of all, we got the fact that the voice is the same.
Yeah.
These two people in the video. If you look at the video, the phone pans inside, so it couldn't have been shot from outside. कोई ऐसे तुम्हारा phone बना रहा है दुकान पे and you don't know it. That's not possible. And third, that a local BJP leader seems to know quite a lot about this, and he is not willing to share. And then I called him 4 days later. I'm like, I'm the media. What do you think? So like, हाँ ठीक है, वीडियो मेरी दुकान पे बना था, लेकिन मैंने नहीं बनाया था. वो किसी बाहर ने आके बनाया है. And I'm telling you, all that everything they said in it is unreliable. So I was like, okay, तुम्हारी दुकान पे बना है, तुम कह रहे हो सच नहीं है, तुम्हारी आवाज़ है, तुम्हारे पिताजी की आवाज़ है. So this is just bollocks.
Right.
This just became a sensation because no one tried to intervene at one point saying this is not true.
No, and also what I find really ridiculous is this is just a bunch of people making claims, right? How did everybody buy it, man?
Exactly, because everyone wanted to buy it in a way.
Yeah, that's
because
what,
when you try to, when you are looking
they
to create a narrative, you just need something.
I'll tell you something. I've grown up in South Delhi for. It's only in 2016, and I've been living in Delhi since 96. It's only in 2016-20 when I was 20 years old that I first went to Jamia Nagar. Okay. There is an invisible demarcation in Delhi.
Yeah.
People from South Delhi do not tend to go into areas that are, Muslim populated, are seen as Muslim populated. Jamia Nagar, Batla House, Shaheen Bagh.
I think that's the scene in all towns and cities.
So they have an image of, because, and a lot of things also happened there when we were growing up. The Batla House encounter happened. There was range of RDX bombing. So again, that thing happens, that there's this image of the other that people create. And they never go there. So it's exactly the same. People have never met anyone from that area, my mother, my parents, my neighbors, but they would love to talk about and easily believe some things like this. That's the simple social component.
Alright guys, see, for reports like this you really have to pay. So let me plug pay to keep news free. It's really important. And also support alt news.
Yes.
They are doing great work,
Yes, please.
and Newslaundry as well. And that brings us to the end of the podcast. Let's finish with some recommendations. Basant.
मेरा तो इस बार का आयुष की जो स्टोरी है अभी 500 रुपये वाली, हिंदी में भी आने वाली है जहाँ
जी।
तक मुझे जानकारी है, तो इसे ज़रूर पढ़ें।
जी।
और हाँ, मेरा एक ही रिकमेंडेशन है आयुष की स्टोरी।
आयुष
तो खुश बहुत हो गए तुम।
अपनी स्टोरी मत रिकमेंड करना, हमने बहुत बार कर दिया।
There is a profile of Ranjan Gogoi, the
Caravan.
the former Chief Justice, in the Caravan February edition. It's by Arshu John. It's a brilliant profile. It's been a while since I read a good Caravan profile. I mean, good Caravan meaning their trademark brilliant profile. And it's about how he's helped the government in all its issues in his last term and what might have caused them. It's a scintillating read.
Right.
Yeah.
Ayan?
So I'm recommending the opinion piece by Pratap Bhanu Mehta, which came out on February 1 in the Indian Express. It's titled as Incitements by BJP leaders aim to polarize society, create violent identities, not just win elections. I think this is a point I also in the beginning made in my observation about the elections. So BJP is actually looking not only to win the elections but to create a long-term narrative which will ultimately transform the whole political discourse in the country.
Yeah.
Where violence will not be random and but rather routine.
Right.
Where people will not express any kind of shock because that's how they are trying to set a different kind of cultures, political discourse, and ultimately that is going to probably, in all its likelihood, that is going to benefit them electorally at the long run. So I think this piece is a really good analysis of how things have panned out
All right.
in this election season.
Thank you. And my recommendation this week is a Guardian report based on this investigation called the Luanda Leaks. And it's really interesting. So it's about how Angolan ruler's daughter used her status to build a $2 billion empire. She's also known as the Princess of Angola. And her name is Isabel dos Santos. And an investigation by the Guardian and journalists across 20 countries led by the ICJ, Investigative Journalists Consortium, reveal how she became the richest woman in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and basically she used her father because her father was the head of the government and how she got all these opportunities and she
I
became
read
really,
about
she
a
had
similar
like this
thing
really,
sometime back about the family and friends close to the Mugabe family, and these kids were called the Kardashians of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, this is
filthy
similar.
rich.
Not just
Similar.
Zimbabwe, when Atal Bihari's foster kids, Ranjan Bhattacharya and his wife, they also did the very same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's
Where
well
can I
known.
read more about it?
You should read Vinod Mehta's memoir.
Oh,
Okay, it's there.
I'll read it. So she ran this really fancy nightclub and
Every businessman who got an appointment with
Yeah.
Vajpayee when he was PM was because of these people, and they
Ranjan
benefit from
Bhattacharya,
it.
yeah.
wow. All right. Let's wrap up. If you liked what you heard, please rate our podcast on iTunes or whatever platform you're tuned into, and YouTube in this case, if you're watching this. We also have a bunch of other podcasts like Awful and Awesome, Hafta, better the rating, more the reach, and that means more subscribers, and that in turn means better content.
और अगर आपको ये वीडियो और पॉडकास्ट पसंद आए तो न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री को सब्सक्राइब करें, हमारे वीडियो को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर करें ताकि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों तक पहुंच सकें। धन्यवाद।
Also, we're very eager to hear your feedback, so please write to us with reporters without orders in the subject line to contact@newslaundry.com. And you can also leave your comments on Twitter or YouTube. We'll keep the comment section open this time. And with that, this podcast is adjourned. Thank you.